Alrighty, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the CJ and Fitz Show, as always.
I'm CJ.
And I'm Fitz. And yeah, what a wild week 5. Lots of news to cover. We got some good games coming up here, week 6.
Yep. Pretty excited.
Oh, it's extremely exciting, man. For those of you just tuning in, we got a new format. We're trying to up our game a little bit here. We're working on some things, But yeah, I mean, so I guess let's. So first, we want to start this stream off with a happy birthday to the United States Navy.
Yep, definitely.
Go ahead. I mean, that's how CJ and I met. We're both veterans in the Navy. We were stationed together in Maryland, and that's where this whole idea kind of emerged.
And it finally happened.
Yeah. How many years? How many years did it take?
About 3. 3 or 4 in the making. So,
Lots of life in between all that, right?
Yep. So yeah, happy birthday to all my Navy friends and stuff. So,
fellow shipmates.
hello, shipmates.
What was your job in the Navy? Tell everybody what your job was.
I'm a hull technician, so I go by as a welder, but also a plumber. And yeah, I was on 2 ships, and then my last tour was in Annapolis. So good times. How about yourself, CB?
I was a builder. It's a United States CB, Naval Construction Force. Hoorah bees. So good time. My last duty station was Maryland as well. So, but
good times.
Good times. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into some highs and lows.
Right.
Highs and lows of last week.
Definitely for me is the Monday night game with Lamar Jackson putting on the show. So I watched the game, and then I was looking at the stats, his stats. He was 37 for 43, 442, 4 touchdowns. And then he's the first QB in the NFL to complete 85% of his passes for a 400-yard game. He had the highest completed percentage in a 40 pass game, which was 86%. He broke a franchise record with 442 yards. But here's what's crazy. He was responsible for 96% of the Ravens' total yards in that game. Like, if that doesn't scream MVP, right now I don't know what does.
Oh, I know. I mean, we've been saying it pretty much every week since we started this show, man. I mean, Lamar is going to do Lamar things, and for that team to be thriving right now, literally, this guy is literally putting the entire team on his back.
Like, he's doing everything for that team.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, it's just so. It's,
to me, like, it would be definitely like I don't think anybody on that team could replace this, like, his, I wouldn't say stats, but the way he carries that team as everything. He's like utility. He does it all for that team, for that offense.
I think the most amazing fact about it is that he is absolutely destroying the persona that was, embedded on him, right? I mean, this guy, he puts up 400 yards passing. Marquise Brown is starting to turn into an elite weapon. Mark Andrews has career game,
Yep.
And here's the thing though. Do you think Baltimore is a force to be reckoned with, though? Like down the stretch.
If he keeps playing the way he is, yes, I do. Like, defenses are gonna hate playing against him. I mean, the dude's unstoppable right now. I believe they were down 20 22-3.
It was 22-3. Yep.
And it was like almost at the end of the third quarter. And that's when he was like lights out Lamar, and he went off.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the biggest threat to them, though, the biggest threat to Baltimore is going to be a strong front four, right?
Yes.
Because then, I mean, you run a two deep safety with a strong front four, no blitzing. Sean commented, no, only because
the lackluster defense.
The lackluster defense.
What's up, Sean?
What's up, Sean? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Yeah. So when they finally come up against a strong front four and a two deep safety look, a team that can contain Baltimore, like, who steps up in that? Who steps up then?
I mean, maybe like it's gonna be hard to tell right now. Like maybe one of the running backs, maybe like the veteran Latavius Murray, or
Sammy
Tyson
Watkins,
or even Sammy Watkins. Exactly. I think
Sammy Watkins is he for them on that Monday night game. He was a possession receiver, right?
Right.
He caught a few key first downs to keep their drives going. But still, like, you're looking at, don't get me wrong. I'm totally riding this Lamar train until it stops. And I don't think it's stopping anytime soon at all. I mean, I am so amazed by what him as an athlete is doing. And
he turned when I started first watching him, all I consider him was a running quarterback, and that was it. And the stuff I see him do now, like, I'm a believer in Lamar. So he's definitely changed my mind.
Oh, I mean, I don't even think. That's the part that I don't understand, is why anybody would have thought different about him to begin with, right? I mean, even when this guy was in Louisville, he's putting the entire team on his back. You know what I mean? Like, he is just a phenomenal athlete.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm all about it. So that's a great high, man. I think Lamar Jackson is the definition of an MVP, right? Now, MVP voting and all that stuff, I don't want to say it's commercialized. Like, how do I put this in a term that, and I don't want to use the word, and I'm not even going to use the word, actually. It's almost like Heisman voting, right? Like, it's,
right.
The name carries a lot of weight.
But, I mean, if he keeps performing the way he is, you can't deny that.
Oh, no, you can't. But like,
I do think that team has to make the playoffs in order for him to get the MVP, though.
All right, hold on. We got some. I love it. I love this new format, man. I'm starting to see all the chat breaking out. Like, Joe says he agrees. How does the defense prepare for him, especially with newfound weapons and a power pocket thrower? Whoever goes toe to toe with them is going to be. What does that say? It's going to be. It's going to be a shootout. Yeah, and I think that kind of complements Sean's comment above with the Ravens' lackluster defense. But, like, the Ravens have big names on defense. You know what I mean? Like,
they still have playmakers like Marlon Humphrey. I mean, they still have
Queen. Patrick Queen was a great rookie year last year, right? Phenomenal. Like, so I think it's more or less just because I mean, here's the downside of the Greg Roman run heavy offense, right? Is that in the beginning of the season, Lamar wasn't throwing, right? Lamar wasn't throwing, and that puts a lot of pressure on your defense because you're not getting those first downs sometimes when you're running, right? If you're calling 3 runs in a row, you're not getting those first downs. Now I don't have the schematics of it in front of me, right? But like he's saying now, like, all right, Lamar's proven that he can throw it downfield, right? He's finally shut everybody up. I could throw it downfield. And then to, kind of segue into what Jim says, like,
I just saw that. Like,
without Lamar, the Ravens are absolutely in the running for the first round pick. I believe that to be true.
But imagine, like, his next statement. Imagine if he had, like, a Dante Adams or a DeAndre Hopkins. Man, like.
But isn't that what, like, Marquise Brown is, though? Isn't Marquise Brown kind of emerging as...
He's getting there. I mean, he gets hurt a lot. So, but he's like that Tyree Hill, that small, speedy guy.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. Let's just say, just to move forward in our show here, let's just say this. I'm extremely excited about what is happening in Baltimore. For all the adversity that they have overcome so far this season, to be in the position that they're in, right? To have, I mean, they've beaten Kansas City. They they lost in overtime against Las Vegas, right?
Las Vegas.
Against the Raiders, but that's their only loss, right?
That was a crazy game too.
And that was a great game. But go back to this Greg Roman style offense, like, I mean, I used to run, not me specifically because I was on the bench, but in high school, my high school ran the double wing offense, right? It's run heavy. Run. We don't ever throw. Right? So when you implement this run heavy offense, it gives off this idea that you're not going to be able to come back in games. And they've been in every single game that they are playing. So let's keep it going. I love what's happening in Baltimore right now, and I hope that defense, which has some fantastic athletes on it, will slowly emerge to being the typical Baltimore defense that everyone's come to, know and love. So, I'm going to jump into my high and my low, right? So this is a high and a low for me. High and a low for week 5 is the young rookie out of Florida, New York Giants, Kadarius Toney, just balled out, man. This dude was balling against Dallas, right?
Well, I mean, they didn't have anybody else, so they had to turn to him.
Right, but like I think this finally opened up. I mean, this finally opened up Jason Garrett's eyes, and he's like, "Wow, I got an athlete here, man."
And he stepped up big time for him.
Yeah,
which I admire. So I mean, that's pretty good for him.
A series of unfortunate events that happened in that game for the Giants. Daniel Jones, I hope he is doing much better now, but that concussion,
he's day-to-day.
The way that he got up after that, man, I mean, that he got his bell rung. He got his bell rung real good. And then Saquon, sadly, just another unfortunate injury to him that's going to slow down what we all hope is going to be a prolific career, you know what I mean? Like, but Kadarius Toney, he steps up, he rises to the occasion, he's like, "Coach, call on me. I'm there." And he was, man. He was making moves, he was catching, he was throwing, he was he had an incomplete pass, but he was attempting to throw, you know what I mean? Like, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was frustration because they were losing or what, but then
It was a little bit of both. Like it's just as much as Dallas' fault
He
as
throws
his
a
fault.
punch. He throws a punch, and he gets ejected from the game, right? And I love Joe Judge's reaction. Joe Judge's reaction was like, just go, just get out of my face. And I'm sorry, like, I don't care if you're just coming out of college, or you're a young athlete, whatever. Like, you're an adult, and you know what's right and what's wrong. And I think that was Joe Judge's reaction there. Is like, you know that was wrong. Get out of my face. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So, I I mean, CJ will tell you, I've been high on this guy coming out of the draft. I love versatile athletes. I mean, it's probably why I'm, you know, just so infatuated with Lamar Jackson and his career, because he's the same, you know, just dynamic players. I love dynamic players, guys that can do it all. And, yeah, so Kadarius Toney, he is my high and my low, because as awesome as a game as you were having, you just totally overshadowed that with
One play, one punch.
one punch, one bad judgment. So, all right. So let's jump into some news news for the week. I mean, if anyone's paying attention to, you know, if anyone's paying attention to what's happening around the league, John Gruden resigned Monday night as the Raiders head coach.
Who's taking over? Is it the offensive coordinator?
Is it?
Have they even announced that yet?
Isn't it Jack Del Rio?
I'm not even sure. I don't think. I was wondering.
I know. There's an interim head coach in place. I actually don't know who it is.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I would assume that it's Jack Del Rio. Honestly, he's the only one with head coaching experience. But I don't know, because we want to keep this show focused on the sport itself.
Yes.
CJ and I have kind of elected to keep our opinions about the situation to ourselves and just move forward. But I mean, regardless, John Gruden resigning, it is big news. I mean, the team started off 3-0. They're now 3-2.
Also, I got some news. Like, there was a lot of injuries this past week. So I don't know if they're on your fantasy team or your actual team, but you have Russell Wilson, he's out for 6 weeks with a finger injury. You have Clyde from the running back from the Chiefs. He's out multiple weeks with the MCL sprain. Then Juju's out for the year with a shoulder. You talked about Saquon. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. And then the tight end that was really making a name for himself out in Arizona, Matt Williams, is now out for the season. So they might be on the calling up some teams looking for another tight end. So watch out for that.
Yeah. Another thing too. I mean, what a crazy week for kickers, right?
Yes. Extra points, man. I just
find it crazy that, so anybody watching, right? You guys can do the math. 7 plus 3 is 10, right? 7s, 3s, like 22 is. I mean, 22. The number 22, it doesn't happen. It doesn't add up. And you got this crazy week where not 1, not 2, but 3 teams finish with 22 points, right? Like, bizarre. I mean, this should be
pretty
the hottest.
sure that's never happened in 1 week of the NFL.
This should be the hottest topic in football right now, man. Like,
Does it happen?
I'm trying.
But man, you got to make your kids like.
Oh no! I mean, I'm with you. I mean, a couple years ago, people would have, people are throwing a fit about them moving, the extra point kick further back, and slowly but surely, man, you're starting to see that it's kind of
You need a Justin Tucker on your team, right?
Right. I am trying to. So I saw this really great moment though. We tweeted it. We retweeted it on our Twitter page. So be sure to jump over there and follow us on Twitter. But it was Mason Crosby and the rookie kicker out of Cincinnati, McPherson, right? And it was just a real genuine moment because Mason Crosby, veteran kicker. I mean, I don't even know off the top of my head how long the guy's been in the league, but he's a veteran kicker. He's made some big kicks in his time. And it's just this really genuine moment between the two of them when they're just kind of like, dude, it was like this WTF moment, you know what I mean? They're like, I don't get it, man. I don't, McPherson at one point, he was like, did you see me? I jumped up in the holder, like I jumped up into his arms, like I thought I made it.
I missed it.
And he still missed it, you know what I mean? And then, Mason Crosby has some kind words afterwards, like, keep it up, man. You got a real young career ahead of you. So it was just really, it was a really, really good moment,
I mean, so yeah, kickers are starting to be like a big influence in the game now. So I could see like I wouldn't say high. Well, people are going to start looking in more into kickers. So in the drafts and all of this now. So
You think so?
yeah, look, man, like a lot of games were put on the line this week because of a kicker. So
Jim asks, is it okay that one guy decides the outcome for these super athletes? And I don't know, am I missing part of your comment here?
is that like the commissioner or a coach?
Jim, when you get a second, elaborate a little bit more on it because it's a great question, and I want to keep. I kind of want to keep after it. So, takeaways from week 5. Who's your top dog right now?
Well, I wouldn't say top dog, but the team that really made a statement was your Bills. The defense, what they did, they held the Chiefs to 20 points. Primetime game, Josh Allen went out there and balled. So I give big ups to the Chiefs.
To my Chiefs? Do you mean the Bills?
I mean to your Bills, yeah. I was talking about the Chiefs, but yeah, to the Bills.
So
and that defense, man.
Jim is asking, is it okay that one guy decides the game of these super athletes, the kicker?
The kicker.
I mean, it's part of the game. Like, I mean, who's I guess you can go for 2 every time, but then
bias.
How is that bias? Like I didn't even say the Bills. It was CJ that said the Bills.
I mean, Joe, did you watch the game, man? It was pretty good.
He only has one job. He sits on the sidelines. You know what? No, just stop there. Just stop there, because you know what?
And then march out with some dad bod.
Out of every person on that team, the guy that's feeling the most pressure is that kicker when it comes down to it.
Personally, I believe if you're getting paid millions of dollars, you should be making your kicks no matter what. That's my opinion.
I know, but like, I mean, I agree and I don't know. I agree and I disagree, man.
If it's an extra point, it should be automatic, no matter what.
Okay, but if a quarterback's throwing the ball, it should be completed 100% of the time then, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, it is what you're saying.
No, it's not. Like, there's
These
factors that play into that.
these kickers are getting paid millions of dollars to go out there and kick the ball. I mean, now I can't believe we're going to spend this whole show talking about kickers, but here we go. I got to look it up. Number of
That's just my opinion, though. Like, I'm just saying. How many extra points has Justin Tucker missed? Do you know that?
I know he missed a couple in the playoffs last year. Why can't I just find stats, man? Just give me stats.
What, on kickers? Well, what kind of stat are you looking for?
I don't know, but you know what? We're gonna get back to this as soon as I find the information. But I want to keep the show. I want to keep moving forward here. I want to touch base on. Well, let's get into our picks. Let's get into our picks this week.
So do you have the updated?
I'm getting there. Scrambling.
The Jim and Joe show.
The Jim and Joe show. No, listen, man. I love the. Yeah, I mean, I love all the commentary. I love the show's slowly growing, man. But yeah, I mean, so right now, I got the records coming up here in a second. 25. That ain't right.
What?
All right. You know what? So
I can tell you though.
Yeah, what are our records?
I finished 12-4, and you finished 11-5 last week.
Yeah, and I had
So
you at 20. I had you at 25 and 20. Oh, you know why? Because that's mine. Yeah. You're 5.
so
you're 5.
I gained one more game. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're 5 wins on me. You got 5 wins on me. I didn't gain a single win last week. I'm down 1 now.
It's looking bright at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, jeez.
So while you do that, we'll start with the first game, which is this Thursday, Tampa Bay and Philly. I don't think this is a trap game for Tampa Bay, but like Philly could surprise them and keep that game close. But I'm gonna stick with the veteran Tom Brady, and I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. So, first off, I think Philadelphia's defense is a little bit underrated right now.
All right.
And do I think that they're going to be able to slow down Tom Brady and company? No. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well. However, I do think it's going to be a lot closer than people are going to think. and simply because Jalen Hurts, he's got a big arm. Devonta Smith, and Tampa's,
secondary is
they're giving up a ton of passing yards, and that's kind of hindsight 2020, right? They're usually up in games, which means teams are passing a lot on them, right? So it's kind of, and I don't know. I know we were about to get into picks, but this is where I kind of want to get into stats real quick. I got a rant about stats, and I absolutely. Somebody once told me that stats show progression, or they show progression, and I don't think they do at all. I think what shows progression is the only stat that matters, and that's wins, right? Because think about it, man. Statistics are driven by what? They're driven by the play call. They're driven by the game plan and what the defense is giving them, right? So, and what is happening in the game right now. It's like what I just said, right? So, yeah, Tampa Bay is giving up a ton of pass yardage, right? But the Tampa Bay is also, winning every game that they're playing, right? So teams are trying to, to get back into the game, and so I don't know. I mean, I do like Devonta Smith simply in that big air raid style offense because of what the Rams did to them a couple weeks ago with Deshaun Jackson, right? And Cooper Kupp, and just hitting these big, wide open receivers. So I do think it's going to be a close game, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a great game passing. But
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Brady continues like his performance he had last week? 5 touchdowns, 411 yards.
You ever see that famous painting of Jesus and the angels touching fingers, right? Well, the angel is actually Tom Brady in that picture. And he is blessed by the football gods. And that guy is just going to keep going until he can't go no more. And if the guy wants to play until 50, he probably is going to play until 50, right? Now, I used to despise Tom Brady, and I'm starting to realize that my judgment was really clouded simply because I'm a Bills fan. They play New England twice a year, right? And it wasn't necessarily that I hated Tom. Hate's a strong word. It's not necessarily that I disliked Tom Brady as a person. I think I just hated the fact that I had to go play him. That my team had to play him twice a year, and I know that this guy was just going to come in and kick ass, right? So, yeah, I'm going to say yes to your answer, or to your question. I think Tom Brady just keeps going and going and going and going. Dude's like the Energizer Bunny. He's just...
It's unreal, right?
It is,
man.
I mean,
stuff like this.
It is unreal. I love it. So, all right. Moving on.
Tampa Bay. All right.
You got Miami at Jacksonville.
I'm gonna take Miami with this. I'm not sure if Tua's coming back this week or if he's still going to be sitting out. But either way, I think Miami has enough playmakers to get the job done. So I'm taking Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to take Miami too. I don't think Tua's coming back. I don't think Tua's coming back this week. I know he was throwing at practice.
Right. So it'll still be a couple weeks then, but I mean, Brissett's not playing bad at all, though.
No, but I don't think Brissett's doing enough though to keep him in games either. So, but this might be a different week, simply because I don't know, man.
I mean,
you listen more and more of Urban Meyer in his press conferences, right? Like this dude came out and he was, the goal is 250 yards passing, 250 yards rushing, and like, sorry, man, like this isn't college, and I think this goes back to one of our viewers a couple weeks ago was like, is the NFL too big for Urban Meyer? And I think it is. Like, I absolutely think it is. I mean, there's goals, and then there's realistic goals, right? And your team is not firing on all cylinders right now to achieve either one of those. So I'm going to take Miami. I think they finally.
I think Jacksonville's like on a 19-game losing streak,
Yeah.
and I think it continues this week.
All right, moving on. Green Bay at Chicago.
Chicago looked good last week, but I'm taking Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, the hookup in Chicago.
Yeah, I saw a really Jim, Urban Meyer's a dumpster fire. Joe, I see your question there. Ingram, Tony steal the show. We'll get to it when we start covering some fantasy this week, okay, bud? I saw a really interesting statistic, and it was Matt LaFleur versus the AFC North since he's been, the head coach of Green Bay, and they're 12-1 against the AFC North. So I'm with you. As much as I love divisional games, I'm going to take Green Bay here.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at Detroit.
I'm taking the Bengals, the Joe Burrow Chase combination. I really feel bad for the Lions fans, which you'll talk about this in a couple of minutes. But I just think the Bengals is going to go in and win with that duo. So I watch for Chase to have a big game, in my opinion.
In your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Lamar Chase is going to be one of your top receivers.
You said that. You said, in my opinion, like you said something wrong. Like you didn't say anything wrong.
Well, I'm just saying.
No. I'm gonna go. I'm going with Detroit. I'm gonna tell you why right now. The Zach Campbell press conference after the loss to Minnesota. I mean, this guy's on the podium. He's in tears, and he just says he feels so sorry for his team because those guys worked their asses off, and they've lost. I mean, the only game that they lost that wasn't close was against Green Bay. Other than that, man, they've lost. Every game that they've lost has been super close. So I'm actually going to take Detroit right now, and I'm going to take it because
heartbreaking losses.
What's that? Oh, heartbreaking losses. I'm going to take Detroit. Detroit's going to be fired up. You know what I mean? If my coach came out and said that, if my coach was shedding tears, dude, I'd be pumped up too. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, coach, you're right. I'm giving 100%. Maybe I should go out there and give 110%. And I'm going to take it a step further, actually. And I'm going to say Detroit's front four is all over Burrow and totally shuts down your Burrow to Chase combination there. So I'm taking Detroit here. But I'm with you, though. I think Cincinnati's really hot. Joe just commented too, or Jim just commented. He's like, I think Cincy is on the up as the season goes on. I'm with you. I like Cincy. I like what's happening over there. They got young coaches. Zach Taylor, I think Zach Taylor, like, yeah, I think I like what's happening in Cincinnati. I like what's happening in the AFC North. It's like, it's just kind of this passing of the torch. You know what I mean? Baltimore's playing good. Cleveland's playing good. Cincy's playing good. And then there's Pittsburgh, right? And, like, yeah, Pittsburgh's playing great, but, like, it's kind of like I'd be finding another team. Oh man. All right. Moving on. We got Houston, Indianapolis.
Man. So David Mills put on a really good show against New England. Um, and what's even crazier, Chris Moore was on the practice squad, and he just came up for this game, and the dude had like a couple touchdowns and over 100 yards, and so they signed him today to be on the active roster. So shout out to him, but I'm taking Jonathan Taylor and the Colts.
I like it. I'm taking the Colts too. Rams at the Giants.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Like
the
the
Rams.
Giants are they're so hurt right now with all these players. So
Yeah, I know it's a huge question mark. Can Mike Glennon step up? Is Daniel Jones even going to be a go? I know he's day to day right now, but I just don't see. I do not see him clearing concussion protocol in time. So,
Saquon's not playing.
Saquon's not. Or Devontae Booker though, man. Devontae Booker, like, I thought he stepped up. I thought he filled the role great with Saquon out. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like he was really trying to put the Giants on his back there, and he's running the ball great against Dallas, man. Like, but I think the Rams defense is just they're so healthy right now. Like I just don't see it happening.
So yeah,
Kansas City at Washington.
Man, I'm going with Kansas City on this one.
Yeah, me too. I think Kansas City really bounces back. I think Andy Reid kind of settles things down. Kansas City's defense, though, man.
Right?
It ain't looking good. It's not looking good. I'll give Washington the benefit of the doubt here. If I think they could actually win the game if one, their front four finally emerge as this front four that we have praised week in, week out. I'm waiting for them to finally show face. If their front four can control the line of scrimmage, and if their offensive line can control the line of scrimmage. Chris Jones was out against the Bills. He might be back this week. But, yeah, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, and even Jarrett Patterson's starting to get some carries here and there. If they can control the clock and the line of scrimmage, Washington has a long shot, but I think it's still a shot. But, yeah, I'm going to take Kansas City here. Jim says if they start Patterson. Dude, just wait. Everyone wait. You heard it here first. The CJ and Fitz Show. Jarrett Patterson is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league next year, probably. All right, Minnesota, Carolina.
I'm kind of a toss-up. Who are you going to go with?
I'm going with Sam Darnold. Bounce back game. I'm taking Carolina here.
I want to take Carolina, but you know what? I'm gonna play it different. I'm gonna take Minnesota in this one.
All right. Chargers at Baltimore.
Oh man, like Chargers are playing phenomenal. Lamar is playing phenomenal. It's in Baltimore. Yo, this is pretty tough. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Justin Herbert, and yeah, I'm gonna go with Chargers on this one.
Based on last week's performance against the Cleveland Browns and their run defense, I'm gonna take Baltimore.
I wanted to take Baltimore, but something just
Jim asks, is it the game of the week? Is that the game of the week for you?
Uh
I think it's going to be the most exciting game.
yeah.
I'll say game of the week. I'm with you, Jim. All right. We're going to jump into Kapow. CJ's upset pick of the week.
All right, so we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Browns. I'm actually taking Cleveland in this one to give the Cardinals their first loss of the season. Cleveland has the number one offense, rushing offense, and they've scored the most rushing touchdowns. Arizona's given up 139 yards per game, which is the fifth worst this season. I believe if that Cleveland's defense can make the plays when they need to make them, and Cleveland controls the clock with that run game, I believe they can beat Arizona and win this game. So I'm going with Cleveland.
So even though Vegas actually has Cleveland favored to win that game right now, right? They're only favored because they're home. Right, so they're getting Cleveland's getting 3,
but only because they're home. I think Chubb and Hunt is going to win that game for them with the defense making enough plays to help them.
And this is what I don't understand about the line at all is like the Chargers just put up 48 points against you last week, right? The Chargers have an explosive offense. Arizona has an explosive offense as well. Kyler Murray is not Justin Herbert. Kyler Murray is, again, another dynamic player, right? This guy can make unique throws on the run. I don't think if your defense can't contain Justin Herbert in that explosive offense, I don't think your defense is going to be able to contain Kyler Murray either. So I'm going to take Arizona.
I didn't say they were going to contain them. I just said they needed to make enough plays to help out Cleveland's offense to control that clock and win the game. So, I mean, Myles Garrett has 7 sacks, and maybe he can add to that total.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all about it, man. You got your Kapow. You got the Kapow right last week with Pittsburgh over Denver. So, yeah, I'm going to take Arizona, though. I am.
Gotcha.
I don't trust that Cleveland defense yet. Las Vegas or Denver?
With all the controversy going on with Las Vegas, I just think Denver's more prepared, and I'm going with Denver in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dallas at New England.
Matt Jones came through the deep ball, so I think Dallas is going to press, and defense is going to make plays, and the offense is already good, so I'm taking Dallas.
Does Trevon Diggs get his 8th?
I'm going to say yes. Is he... Do you think he's the defensive player of the year right now? Or a candidate? How about that?
I would say he's a candidate, but again, like this is where
your stats.
My stats, dude, right? So Trevon Diggs is, I mean, what's his
what?
I was going to ask what's his grade? Like, I mean, like here's a strong case for you, right? Tre'Davious White, Marshawn Lattimore, right? Their rookie seasons. Tre'Davious White had better coverage, gave up less touchdowns, less pass yardage. Lattimore had, I think, 9 interceptions, right?
And they gave it to Lattimore because of the interceptions.
Right. So this is another situation where I think stats
I see
really,
where you're going.
Stats are. Excuse me, everyone. I have to charge my headset here.
What's crazy is the guy that plays on the other side, Anthony Brown, has a better grade than Trevon Diggs.
Right. So is this are these interceptions more of a just right place, right time type thing? You know what I mean? Does it really justify that a player is playing out of their mind? You know what I mean? So, but
I got you.
To answer your question, yes, he's gonna get voted as a defensive player of the year because of these stats that are inflated. So, and this isn't anything against him. It's not. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, right? He's having a great year, and these interceptions and these turnovers are helping Dallas stay way ahead of the pack than other teams, right? So it's not I'm not taking away his contribution for the team. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, to determine, player of the year, MVP, etc. I just think there has to be so much more thought that goes into it than simply numbers. You know what I mean? So, but I'm going to take Dallas here as well.
Why? Just because the offense is too good?
Yeah.
And Zeke is averaging more yards this year than any season.
It's so funny. It's 2 weeks ago, you're like, who's Zeke? Tony Pollard. You know what I mean?
Right?
So it's almost like he heard our show,
But Tony Pollard is ranked number 1 on PFF in the grade. So,
but man, Dallas is a force, and I'm rooting for him. Honestly, I never thought I'd hear the words come out of my mouth, but I am. I'm rooting for him. I'm like every other fan. I love big offenses, high impact plays. I love that stuff. So, what I don't like though is that stadium, the AT&T Stadium. Did you see the light coming in from the one end zone? Oh my God. Yeah. It was blinding me, and I'm watching this stuff on TV. You know what I mean? Imagine a pickup football game at the Diggs Thanksgiving. Yeah, what do you think? You think Trevon covers Stephon?
Oh yeah,
the whole time.
Oh yeah.
All right, Seattle at Pittsburgh.
With the Russell Wilson news. I mean, Geno played a great game, but
oh my God, did Geno play a great game, dude? We didn't really talk about it in the beginning either. You know what I mean? Is it it just starts to make you wonder the way Sam Darnold is playing this year, besides the last game, and the way Geno stepped up, and he totally stepped in and he filled in big shoes. Is it the Jets organization? You know what I mean?
I really think it is.
But new coaches come in, they bring in they bring in new staff, new developers, etc.
When's the last time they had a winning season? When Testaverde played?
No, Chad Pennington.
Okay.
Mark Sanchez. They went to the AFC Championship with Mark Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan. They actually had a winning season with Fitzpatrick too, but they missed out on the playoffs. I think they were 9-7, and that's when they had Quincy Enunwa and Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
Right? Robbie Anderson, I think, was just very, very young. So
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh, man. I just think that Dante Johnson and Chase Claypool, and watch out for the rookie tight end making some plays, because with Juju out, I like Pittsburgh this week. You going with Pittsburgh too?
Yeah, I am, but on a different No, I'm just gonna say they just ride the pony, man, and Najee Harris just, really. I don't even want to say it's a breakout game for him because I feel like he's already kind of had a breakout game, but like,
definitely in receptions.
yeah. But as far as running the ball, I think Najee Harris has a big game here. So, and then the Monday nighter is Buffalo at Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm thinking Buffalo. Like Tennessee are giving up big plays in the receiving game, so I just think their Buffalo receivers are going to have a field day out there. So
Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo too, but I'm not gonna. I don't know. Buffalo defense is playing great right now, right? Absolutely great. They are.
are they going to stop that run game though?
Right. It's right. So that's what I was getting at. So how do you stop a high-powered offense? You control the clock. They shut down. So there's a clip from last year's game where Derrick Henry throws Josh Norman. You know what I mean? Stiff arms him, throws him or whatever. But the truth is that they shut down Derrick Henry. The person that they couldn't stop was Ryan Tannehill running. They couldn't stop Ryan Tannehill running last year. Now, I don't think that that's going to be the same game plan they come into against the Bills this year. But the Bills shut down Derrick Henry last year. So, and there's just something different about this defense. So
it was exactly 1 year from today.
Yeah. It was a COVID game. It got postponed to a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Jeez, they beat y'all 42-16.
Yeah. Jim says the Bills are road favorites in the second toughest game on their schedule. Is their schedule too easy to be ready for the playoff caliber teams? No. These are all professional athletes, man. Your job, go back to what CJ said earlier, like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to make your kicks, right? Like, you mentally prepare for every game, week in, week out. Is it going to be hard for them to keep their composure, the way that they're attacking games right now? No, because these guys were this close to the Super Bowl last year, and I think they want it more than ever right now. So, is the schedule too easy? I don't think the schedule's too easy. Ethan chimes in. He says, what happened with the Packers game?" Oh, that's right. I forgot he's like a bandwagon Packers fan, isn't he?
I'm not getting into that.
Come on, man.
They won by the skin of their teeth.
Listen, man, the Packers, Cincinnati was in that game the whole time. Like, so, yeah.
Did Tim pick Cincy for the third time?
Everyone got jokes today, huh? Everyone's got jokes. Ah, man. All right, so we're going to jump into some Fitz's fantasy formula. So I'm taking a different approach to this week. So it's
brewing up some stats.
Nah, I mean, this is more just. So, I really like. Sorry, excuse me. I really like Dak. I like Dak against New England and the reason I say this is because I think New England's going to keep it closer than I think New England's going to keep it closer than people might think. Because as much passing yards as Dallas's defense is giving up, the rushing yards, though, they are giving up a ton of points to running backs. They're up there. They're top 5, I think, in points to running backs. But I like Dak because I think they're going to have to what is it that I'm trying to say? They're going to have to keep the pressure on to stay ahead of the game, like to stay in the game, right? So they're going to have their foot on the pedal the whole time because New England's going to do such a good job at clock management. So to complement Dak, I actually like Dalton Schultz a lot. New England's given up a ton of points to tight ends. And Schultz is really starting to emerge as a number one tight end there. He's becoming one of Dak's favorite targets. So Matt Stafford against the Giants. The Giants are not the Giants. Like the Rams don't really have a run offense. And they're kind of in this position where they only really run when they need to. So watch for some quick outs, moving the chains, keep the clock running. Like the Rams want this game to be over quick because it should be over quick. So yeah, I like Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Robert Woods had a monster game last week, and I would continue to see this because not only that, right, but let's get back to, again, my stats argument. Geez, I can have this all day long. But I think everybody, including Sean McVay, is rooting for Matt Stafford to be in this MVP conversation, and he's gonna inflate those stats, man. He's gonna let them throw the rock when they don't need to be throwing the rock. So yeah, I really like Matt Stafford against the Giants this week. Running backs, you kind of touched on it earlier. Jonathan Taylor against Houston. I mean, that guy is really just emerging to be the number one back there. They've kind of had this 3-headed, now 2-headed, and now it's really just Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines on third downs. You know what I mean? DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift against Cincy. And again, this just is
Mr. Utility.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really breaking out this year, and I think Zach Campbell and company are just I think they're just gonna ride the hot hand because they really want to win, and they're gonna do everything in their power to blow out Cincinnati, and I think DeAndre Swift is the one to lead the way. Stephon Diggs has been kind of quiet this year. He's had some big plays, not many touchdowns. You know, Emmanuel Sanders over there in Buffalo is really like emerging as a true threat, and now you don't really know what to do as a defense. So look for Stephon Diggs to get his looks this week and really, I don't want to say have a breakout this season, but finally kind of shake the rust off and has the game that he needs. Mike Gesicki in Miami, I really like this guy a lot. He has proven to be a sure-handed target for Brissett. Jacksonville is second in points to tight ends, and Miami's looking to lay down the law. And they want a big win because they need it. They need a big win. So I don't expect them to take the foot off the pedal at all, and they're going to be slinging the rock down the field. And then my sleeper defense, and this is kind of what I touched on earlier, I just think that front four in Detroit has a real big game. I think they really contain Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and I like Detroit's defense against Cincinnati this week. So those Fitz's fantasy formula for you this week. So, all right, man. Well, running, as always, we're running a little deep on the show here, right?
Having fun though, man.
Man, I'm having so much fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and really just the chat. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the questions. I mean, week in, week out, you guys have all been super loyal to the show, chiming in, give us your thoughts. Like, this is fun. This is
The interaction. Yeah, we love it. So keep it up.
This is it's new to us, and we're slowly gonna get this better and better. We were going to. Joe wants to know.
Oh yeah, he wants to know about the tight end.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a safe play, honestly, because.
I mean, who do they?
Yeah, right. So, kind of back to your comment earlier. Does Tony steal the show? Like, yeah, Kadarius Toney is going to be a primary target for sure, but they need a number 2. And it's going to be Evan Ingram. So.
Well, Kenny Galladay's doubtful, so he's not. I'm pretty sure he's not playing.
I'm pretty sure Sterling Shepard's still going to be out too.
Yeah, so I will go.
Yeah, play him. Play him. Just, if you lose though, don't blame it on me. All right, bud. No, but again, him, Tony, or a bag wrong? What is this? A trade? Are you offering me a trade? No, I'm not trading you, Evan Ingram. I'm not trading for Evan Ingram. And I'm not trading Kadarius Toney either. So, all right. Closing statements here. What's that?
Throw 2 first-round picks in there.
Yeah, Joe. You throw Ingram and 2 first-round picks, and I'll trade you Toney. I'm just kidding. No, because you're going to probably send me that trade now. So, no. I'm just kidding. So, but no, again, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Like, me and CJ are having a blast doing this. Yep. Wednesdays, they're it. I'm so excited about them. Every Wednesday, man, I get fired up. So,
yep, we're having fun. So, just subscribe and like the channel if you can, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications too for the channel. You start getting notified when we go live. There is so in the description of the video there is a Discord link to join our server. It's still kind of this trial and error thing. Eventually, like, we want to get you, the viewers, to come on the show and kind of have these conversations with us. Person to person, voice to voice type thing, instead of necessarily reading through the chat. But we just didn't get it. We were gonna try it tonight. We just didn't get around to it. So anybody that did join the server already, I apologize. Next week we're gonna give it a shot. So, but yeah, all right. So that's it. CJ and Fitz Show, and we're signing off.
Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.